Opposing Gloves here, and today we are going to be talking about tempo, or the speed at which your track plays back. I'm wearing a hat. Let's get into this, dude, man, bro. So what is the deal with tempo? Well, tempo is the speed at which a track plays back, and the reason why don't we have, the question comes, why don't we have one tempo? Why isn't there like the universal tempo, like 120 beats per minute? We write all our music relative to this one tempo, and then when we theoretically we just write it slightly different length notes, and then we could get any tempo, right? We could do that. Well, yeah, sure, you could do that, but the problem is most people don't even think of this because it's a terrible idea, because it would be extraordinarily difficult to write particular rhythms to get particular feels. Some rhythms, if you write conventionally, just simply won't exist without an atrocious amount of work at that particular speed. You have to change the speed to get a different rhythm. And I have here, now if you don't get that, I have a drum loop and I'm about to make it clear. So basically what I'm saying is we have all these different tempos and speeds, and what they do is they allow particular rhythms to exist while other rhythms don't exist at that speed in our way of writing. So, we write in like whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. We're going to be dealing with these subdivisions. But let's just look at this as a concept. So right now I have this drum loop here. It sounds like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to isolate a piece of this drum loop. So we're going to take this piece of the drum loop, right? And so when we listen to it, let's listen to the rhythm, the way we perceive it at this speed. And then we're going to speed it up, and then we're going to note the changes in what happens to the rhythm. Does it maintain the same emphases in the same places? Or do those things get mixed up? Do we find new emphases in new places? Emphasize. I don't know. So here we go. We're going to play this. And so here it is. So you see we have this really groovy thing. It's do-dap. And so we have this clear down and then up and then another do-do-do. One of those do-dap, do-do-do-do-do-do-dap, do-do-do-do. Now the question comes, if we speed this up and we keep all the spots in the same place, so we keep all our things there, so the rhythm is theoretically the same, will it change? Will the rhythm alter? And the answer is, I'll let you decide for yourself. We'll go up to 140. So twice that speed. So there is a substantial change. It's as if we're that that thing went away. Now we've got boop up, like that crazy sounding thing. I'm not gonna try and do that, but anyways, we have that. And it's completely altered the way we perceive and feel it. This is why tempo is so important. Depending on the tempo, it puts you in a mindset. It's why people will write songs at 60 beats per minute instead of writing everything twice as long at 120. First off, the notation is easier if you write in a tempo that features the rhythms you're going to want. So instead of just doing things, but if you're writing in weird multiples, let's say that we wanted, 110. Well, how would that alter the feel? Because now we're going to end up with in-between stuff that didn't exist in either one quite the same way as before. So you see the difference there? If we come down to 70, it's just worlds apart, the different tempos. And as a performer, I have played songs at various tempos. Generally, you work up. So when you're learning a really difficult piece, you start by playing it at like 60 beats per minute or slower if you have to, and then you work your way up to the desired tempo. And as you go, the actual perceived way that rhythm is changes. It's why something sounds cool fast, but it sounds kind of lame or boring slow sometimes. However, if you ever do mess around with half speed or whatever, then you get the gloriousness of like pitch shifting and stuff. But if you're just playing it as like a clarinetist or whatever, then you don't get that gloriousness. It's not quite as fun. So that's the importance of tempo. I just wanted to make that clear to you as we get into these different rhythms and we talk about these different speeds. And I'm playing at particular tempos or speeds of playback, basically. It's technically what it is the beats per minute, but I haven't introduced the idea of meter yet. So that's that. That is a pretty simple explanation. I hope you got that. I hope you see the importance of this, and also when you're selecting the style you want to work in, because maybe you've gotten in a rut and you always work at 120. Like I used to open up FL and I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I'd always work at the same tempo, and I was looking for inspiration, but because I was working at the same tempo, the rhythms would always be sort of similar, and I also wouldn't take conscious advantage of other rhythmic ideas that I had at my disposal that I now know about, but I didn't know about at the time. So we're going to get into all this stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. Support me on Patreon, subscribe, and have a blessed day.